Hey everyone, it's the weekend and I'm doing some spring cleaning or trying to tidy up some things. And one of my tasks today was to pack away some of my old books that I wrote. So I thought I'd do a walk down memory lane and show sort of the progression of how I went out and wrote my books over the past 10 years, and maybe see some of the improvement as I went along through this. So what I've got is, these are most of the books that I've written, and I thought it was interesting to lay them out in sort of like the segments that I went through them. So these books here are actually the first set of books that I created, and they were my blueprints. They were pretty simple and pretty straightforward, but they still work really well. And I was looking back, and this one here was started in November 2013. I think there's an earlier one in there as well. But as you can see, I sort of started off my writing by creating these small little blueprint guides, and they were pretty fun to make. And these are still all available on Amazon, but are there for AX 2012, so they're a little bit old. Now, what we've got here with this mammoth pile of things is the first iteration of my bare bones configuration guides. So these, if we look at them and just pull one down, I turned the blueprints into step-by-step guides on how to go out and implement Dynamics AX. So they've got a pretty simple format, but they still took a little bit of time. And as you can see, there's even though we go down to edition 18, I've missed 16 and 17 because they were planned to be created on the list. But these guides were pretty good, and if anyone wanted to go through and set up Dynamics AX, then you could start from the beginning and go right down to the end. And then each one of these guides, again, is a step-by-step instruction, so that you don't have to sort of think about what you're trying to do. So that was my, I think, main project that I had, I think, when I looked at it in 2014. So, but along the way I created these introduction guides because Microsoft went out and renamed the Dynamics so much, from the new AX to Finance and Operations and Finance Operations Enterprise Edition. And I've actually got a couple of these, but these go out and show you how to go out and sort of do tips and tricks within the system along the way. So I created all those guides, and then I decided to create my second edition of these. And if I look at the date on this, then I started this in 2016, and I started to streamline things a little bit and have more details. And this is one of the guides that I did for the general ledger. Then I think in 2017 I went out and did a little bit more work on them and split these out into more detailed accounts. And also I used my author tools to go out and make these just a little bit prettier, because also we had some links in here for the recipes and some of the extra things that sort of made things look a little bit nicer. So this pile here is just for the general ledger. So I turned this book here into this stack of individual modules, and I think there's around about 8 of those modules. So I worked on those, and I don't have the printed versions of them, but I actually went out and spent probably the next couple of years going out and doing these, actually turning each one of these books into a set of modules like this. Then I went out and consolidated them a little bit and created my first version of the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 implementation guides. And these guides, again, I streamlined them a little bit more. I did a little bit more editing along the way, but they're still step-by-step instructions on how to go out and set up, in this case, Dynamics 365, because I'd moved on with this series and this series along the way. So this was a cool project because it was simpler, and it went out and just allowed you to learn how to implement or set up Dynamics 365 in a very simple environment. And then finally I've moved over to here. So this is my latest version of the guides. And these I've spent a little bit more time on, and there's a lot more detail in here. And this book is actually 6 of the original guides put together and streamlined with a lot of detail associated with it, and also edited a lot more so that I can have one guide. And I just released out the second one for the supply chain, which is just a little bit bigger than this. But this one book takes into account, or does all of these down to the accounts payable, and then the next set of books that I'm doing go down all the way down to procuring sales order management within the system. So as I'm looking through these, then you can sort of see how I started off writing, and then how I created my bare bones configuration guides, and then over the years, so all of this took around about 10 years to get to this one consolidated guide in the system. So I thought this was fun, but now I'm just going to pretty much put most of these books away and start working on more of the books. So I hope this was interesting, and for anyone who's interested in going out and maybe creating or writing some guides, then just ping me and I can help you and show you what I did along the way. So catch you all later.